Oh yeah, a fresh pack of batteries. Nothing better, especially if it's still light out and you can see the display. What's up, guys? Imagine having your entire childhood in your pocket, and I'm not talking about a Game Boy Pocket. I'm not talking about a Game Boy Color. I'm talking about having everything on your phone. Super Mario Run, right? No, guys, today I'm going to show you something so much better. I'm going to show you an emulator that packs everything you could ever want from your childhood. I mean, I just think back as a kid, literally there was nothing more I wanted than to have everything all in one device. And I was pretty happy with my Game Boy, I'll give you that. But Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, all of these emulators with as many games as you want, all in one application. Guys, today I'm introducing Delta to you. This is the new emulator from the maker of Game Boy Advance for iOS. So this is an emulator for modern day devices. It takes advantage of the larger displays, the new Taptic engine, even the more power. It is so buttery smooth. It's insane how amazing this emulator is. So today I'm going to be showing you a run through of this application, playing games on it, how it works, all the new cool features, and unfortunately I cannot share it with you because it is still in beta. It will see a final release soon. Of course, I'll be showing you how to install it and get games on it eventually, but today I just want to show you how it works and what to look forward to early next year, and man, is it great. Now, I have been making emulator videos for over 6 years already.
Here's my favorite, Golden Sun. Absolute favorite game, brings back so much memories. But there you go, you guys have your Game Boy Advance emulator running on your iDevice.
And I don't think I'll stop anytime soon. This has got me so excited for the future of emulators. It brings back so many memories, all that nostalgia, so I think I'm always going to be making these videos for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump in and check it out. So when you go in, you just have a splash screen with all of your ROMs that you currently do have installed. Now, depending on where you get them from, they could come included with album art. And man, this looks amazing. It's just so much nicer than Game Boy Advance for iOS because you can actually see, not have to read the ROMs, you can just see little pictures. And just looking at these, I remember standing in line for Ruby and Sapphire. Couldn't afford it at the time, but with time I eventually saved up and did buy it. Unfortunately, I grew up in a household where Pokemon was the devil, so I couldn't play it. My mom would always take them and throw them away. So now let's make up all that lost time with this application. I have Golden Sun in here, the best games ever for Game Boy Advance, I'll tell you that, and pretty much anything I could want. So let's jump into Super Mario right here and show you how responsive this is. Now, the great thing about this emulator is that it does take advantage of the Taptic engine. So if you have the newer 6S, 7, it's really going to feel almost natural, like the buttons themselves feel like they're actually clicking, which is awesome. It works very well. It's buttery smooth. Of course, with Game Boy Advance, I'm not worried about performance. It was good on the old emulator, but it's the Nintendo 64 emulator that I'm really looking forward to trying to see how smooth it is. So for now, let's check out the sound. So number one issue most emulators have is with sound and frame rate. I can tell you sound is pretty good as is. Ooh. I'm no speedrunner, so don't judge me. I'm literally playing through my camera right now. So it is acceptable, of course. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. Alright, so getting the hang of it. It's definitely very playable. So that's just Super Mario, and in-game, these are the options that we do have. This is a new screen, so you can forward the game. You can do your cheat codes, of course, load a state, save, and go ahead and hold the button. So you can actually keep a button pressed if you need to. That's a nice little help right there. So that's just Super Mario. Let's head back to the main menu. And a very interesting feature of this emulator is that it does support 3D touch. So if you go ahead and 3D touch on a game, you can push into it or just get a little preview of the game itself. So I'm going to do that once again. Let's try it with this one. So 3D touch, you can get an option to save state, but you can push through into it as well, which is kind of neat, I guess. So you can flip through the emulators like this, Super Nintendo. Unfortunately, at this point in time, Nintendo 64 and Game Boy Color is not supported, so I couldn't run that. But basically, the way you install this is through Test Flight, And in here, it does give you some information about it. It's currently on 1.0. I'd love to share this with you guys, but for now, I just can't. So jumping into the settings, let's see what we got in here. We can control the opacity of the controllers, so they're not completely blocking your vision. You can make them even more see-through. You can choose the skins in here. So if you're not happy with the stock one, there will be more. So right now, this emulator is very bare bones, but with time, you'll be getting a lot more things. In here is inputs, so for future controller supports, you can even use another iPhone and just have the entire display with the game, which is kind of neat. It doesn't really work right now, but with time it will. So let's try something else. Let's try one of my other all-time favorites, the Minish Cap. So I do like to use the fast forward because sometimes this does take a while to load. So as you guys can see, I literally just got into it, but I don't have a sword. I don't have anything meaningful. Okay, so it's kind of hard to use the L and R buttons, I'll tell you that. That's going to be a pain if you ever need that for a game. But overall, still working pretty good. So the games run very, very smooth in Game Boy Advance. Can't complain about that. It's just awesome to have everything here all in one app. I really, really do like that. So I have everything I could ever want to play. This is miles better than any Super Mario run. There's no in-app purchases. It's just a game. That's how I love my games. I'm very old-fashioned with that. If a game has in-app purchases, I tend to like it a lot less versus ones that are just laid out for you to use and play as they should be, like the good old days in the past. I already feel like an old man. It's really funny. But guys, there it is. That is Delta. To the developer, I gotta say thank you. This was an honor to go ahead and try this out in beta stage. I was chosen out of a lot of, thousands of other people. So thank you very much for that. I think it's a great, great start for something that's going to become everybody's favorite application to play games on. Now, how it's going to be installed to you is probably through sideloading. I'm not really sure what his plan with that is, but I will be sharing everything with you guys about how to install it when it's eventually out. Now, I actually wanted to do a little quick demo of how to get games onto here. So in case any of you guys were wondering about that, installing process, I don't know, but the games part is very simple. All right, so just in iTunes, you go to your device and then you jump into the apps tab and then we scroll down, go on to Delta. Okay, and then just take your ROM, whichever one it is for any of the 4 emulators, drag it in here, click sync. And then in Delta, it's as simple as jumping in here and clicking plus and iTunes, import. So I did just add Final Fantasy. This one does not have a thumbnail, so like I said, depending on where you get it from, it might not have one, but it's as simple as that. All right, guys, that is Delta, a little preview of what's to come. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait till you guys get to play with it as well. I'll be sure to share when it's out. Peace.